Welcome, SENS Talk.
Russell winds in, feeds it back across the strike, and scores! Brady Tkachuk makes it 2-0. Paul Giroux, hit alone, scores!
Tim Stutzock cross, Tkachuk score! The captain, Brady Tkachuk, buries it with 1:18 to go.
See you later. Go, SENS, go. Welcome to SENS Talk. My name is Brandon Plant, and I am your host. Tonight, Ottawa took on the New Jersey Devils as they look to extend their winning streak to 3 games in a row to improve to 14-17-0. Still a good ways away from getting back to 500, but a win tonight would be a massive step into getting back to 500. Let's just say things did not go to plan. Now, by the way, I think the last 2 out of 3 videos, the towel behind me right above my head right there has fallen. If it falls again today in this video, make sure to put the timestamp down below. I'm very excited. You guys always have some funny comments about that. Looking forward to reading and responding to those as usual. Now, tonight's lineup remains the same after the win on Wednesday against the Toronto Maple Leafs, as Joonas Korpisalo makes his start again. He's 5-2-0 against the New Jersey Devils in his career. Now, for the Devils, is Nico Daws drawing the start, as Akira Schmid, their young goaltender, was sent back down to the AHL prior to the game today, giving Daws his first start in nearly 2 years. He's a .929 save percentage in 3 AHL games, and he had an .893 save percentage in 25 games in the National Hockey League in 2021-2022. So a young goaltender who hasn't played NHL hockey in nearly 2 years, but a goaltender that has faced a lot of NHL action, playing 25 games just a couple years ago. Still, though, this is a goalie that Ottawa should take advantage of, especially in a game that they really need to win. Now, a cool moment before the game today as the Ottawa Alert, the new team here in Ottawa, the new hockey team, a part of the Professional Women's Hockey League, announced their leadership team on the ice. Of course, it's star player Brianne Jenner as the captain, but also you have assistant captains like Emily Clark and Jinsey Rose, who are also stars in their own right. A great leadership group. They dropped the puck prior to the game today, and a ceremonial face-off. It's great to see the two teams or the two clubs collaborating with one another. I hope to see it much more in the future. But just once again, very, very excited for the Ottawa Alert and the PWHL inaugural season. They already sold out their opening game against Montreal. It's supposed to be the largest crowd ever in North America for a women's professional game. So very exciting stuff. A lot of sold out games already is what I've heard over there for the Ottawa Alert at TD Place. And I'll definitely be catching a few games, no doubt about it. And it's just great to see Ottawa finally have a women's team, and more so to see the Ottawa Senators embracing that team. Now let's get to the first period of play. And 10 minutes in, things are looking good for Ottawa. Halfway through the first period of play is Brady Tkachuk, El Capitano, with a beautiful pass as he finds Drake Batherson trailing alone out front. You probably don't want to do that when you got a guy like Drake Batherson, who's been so hot in the month of December. He continues that great streak. He waits out Daws and puts Ottawa up by 1. It's 1-0 Senators as Drake Batherson extends his scoring streak to 4 straight games with the goal, 6 points as well during that span, 4 of which were goals, as Drake Batherson has been unreal in the last month. He's, like I mentioned in the last video, completely did a 180, and he's been easily Ottawa's best player as of late. But unfortunately, 3 minutes later, the Ottawa Senator lead was short-lived as Jack Hughes ties it off a power play from a Batherson penalty. Batherson giveth, Batherson taketh, as the New Jersey Devils equalize it at 1 apiece. Hughes sneaks one past Korpisalo. This is a tough shot here. As the Devils strike to tie it at 1-1. And like I said, yeah, tough shot, but that was mostly because of the screen going through. I think this would have beat Korpisalo regardless of the screen. He just wasn't positionally sound on this one. Beat him 5-hole. He looked iffy on that. You probably want to save there. Ottawa doesn't get a save. It's 1-1. And then 7 seconds left in the first period of play. Ottawa gets killed with some stupid penalties, whether it was brutal calls by the officials or just terrible, terrible, undisciplined mistakes by the Ottawa Senators. And they do that here in the last minute of play. 7 seconds left. Luke Hughes keeps it in. His brother Jack Hughes feeds it over to Jesper Bratt, who roofs it home. Glove side on the power play. This is a good shot. Another one, though, that you might want Korpisalo to stop. Although the penalty kill, which we'll talk about in the post-game thoughts, was abysmal again tonight. Just let a clear pass right through the entire slot area. No one even got in front of the puck or got close to being in front of the puck, leaving Brad all alone as well. 2-1 as undisciplined hockey cost us again. As, look, in the first 10 minutes, Ottawa was jumping. They looked great. They got the early lead. And then they go to the first intermission down by a goal. It's just, I don't know what happened there in the last 10 minutes. It was undisciplined hockey, no doubt, which cost them. Their penalty kill has been terrible this year, which we'll talk about at the end of the video. But terrible first period after a great start, as Ottawa goes in the second period looking to get some magic going like the other day and make a comeback here. But we go to the second period of play, and 8 minutes in, no comeback anytime soon, that's for sure. As Dawson Mercer drives to the net uncontested. What are we doing? Ridley Gregg gets beat to the puck here on Mercer. Mercer blows right past Ridley Gregg. He cuts to the net. 3-1 game now. Sanderson was covering the slot, so that's why there was so much open space there. But this is mostly because, look, Artem Zub was firstly, of course, caught behind, which left that open space, which kind of forced Sanderson into a split-second decision type of situation. And, of course, Ridley Gregg got beat to the net there, which you just can't have happen. You have to be stronger on the puck. But this all started because of an Artem Zub turnover along the boards, a careless mistake, which was a common theme for the Ottawa Senators tonight, whether it was, getting penalties or allowing goals or giving up chances. They were just lackluster at best tonight in front of 20,000 people. They didn't show up. 20,000 people showed up. The Senators did not. And now, like I just said, it's 3-1 Devils. You got to be better there, Artem Zub, no doubt about it. And then 7 minutes later, 15 minutes into the second period of play, the Devils basically put the boot on the neck of the Ottawa Senators. It's 4-1. Jesper Bratt picks up a loose puck after Tarasenko loses it. Terrible turnover there. And then Tyler Toffoli is basically all alone in the slot on the top of the hash mark. He fires a one-timer past Korpisalo glove side, and you might say you want to save there, but also a tough shot because Toffoli is one of the premier snipers in the National Hockey League he's been anyways for quite some time, a very good shooter. So a tough shot, maybe you want to save, but you just can't have another careless turnover from Tarasenko there. And I'm not calling out Tarasenko specifically, but the whole team tonight was turning over the puck left, right, and center. And we'll talk about that in the post-game thoughts, but just a completely undisciplined game by the Ottawa Senators in all aspects. Tarasenko, who's a veteran, a cup winner, has to do better than this. And the Devils take advantage as they lead by 3 as they're up 4-1 after 40 minutes of play. And after leading past 40 minutes, the Devils are 11-2-1 this year, while Ottawa is 1-13-0, looking to avoid going 1-14-0 when trailing after 40. This, however, is the first time they are trailing after 40 minutes of play under Jacques Martin. So this is really the first true clunker of a game in the Martin era, or I guess you could call it in the post-DJ Smith era. But we go to the third period of play, and 5 minutes in, after a really good power play for Ottawa, to be quite honest with you, the power play did look good. A lot of great chances. I thought Giroux and, that second wave of Kubalik. And, by the way, about Kubalik, I thought he had a good game, a couple great chances tonight. He's usually invisible. Tonight, I thought he was very noticeable. And the power play looked good there, but unfortunately, the power play expires. Smith comes out of the box. You already know what's about to happen. Out of the box, on the breakaway, 5-1 now. Just completely beats Korpisalo clean. Jock was in the rafters after that one for sure. As the Devils now up by 4, it's 5-1, and that's basically it. I mean, at this point, you're just watching because you either paid for the tickets or you're a sucker like me that makes videos after every game. Jokes. Don't get all mad. I love making these videos. But all jokes aside, it's 5-1 now. A lot of Sens fans beat the traffic. Just like I told Leaf fans the other day to beat the traffic, Ottawa fans certainly beat the traffic tonight. And they have to. You already know how bad that the parking situation in the CTC is post-game. But regardless, moving on. It's 5-1. Not much is happening. But a big moment here, and I love to see this. 6 minutes left in the game. Jacob Bernard-Docker along the boards takes the shot, bounces off Smith and in. So he scores a goal for the Devils, and he taketh as he allows a goal for the Devils there. Smith, I'm talking about, as Ottawa cuts the lead to 3. It's 5-2. Jacob Bernard-Docker, of course, a friend of the show. Love to see him scoring in the National. And Angus Crookshank, another friend of the show, got the secondary assist. You love to see that. Both are beauties. Angus Crookshank in particular. He's just a great guy, very easy to root for, and I'm so happy that he's finally getting an opportunity in the National Hockey League and really succeeding in that opportunity. But after that, the Devils would score another one with a couple minutes left as Ottawa loses 6-2 to the New Jersey Devils in an absolute shellacking as the Senators now fall to 13-18-0 on the season. So the penalty kill tonight, like I kind of alluded to, is not great. They were 2 for 4. which doesn't sound terrible, but that's a 50% rate. It's terrible. It's terrible. And that goes on top of the fact that the Ottawa Senator penalty kill is the worst in the National Hockey League. They continue to look obviously terrible, but also very, very unorganized. And Korpisalo was forced to make a couple of big stops, big stretch stops. And Ottawa, frankly, was lucky they didn't score on 3 or all 4 of those penalty kill chances there for the Devils. And, once again, they fired Davis Payne. They fired DJ Smith. I'm still confused why they didn't fire Jack Capiano, who leads the penalty kill, who has been running that penalty kill all year, and it's been consistently throughout the entire year a problem, especially in the last couple of months, one of the worst, and now the worst in the National Hockey League. I never like to call for a coach's job unless it's warranted, but it kind of feels weird that when Smith was fired and Payne was fired, who led the power play before, which hasn't been great, but certainly not the worst in the National Hockey League, like the PK, it is weird that Capiano was given the option to stay, which of course he did. He did stay. The only thing I can think of is back a couple years ago when the Buffalo Sabres were looking for a new head coach. They went to Ottawa and asked if they can interview Capiano for that role. Usually teams allow assistant coaches, assistant GMs, whatever other executives or coaches teams are interested in hiring to interview. But the Ottawa Senators actually rejected their request, which is very rare. A lot of people were confused, especially since Capiano is an assistant coach, not even the head coach. So maybe that was a goodwill gesture there. I don't know. But what I do know is his penalty kill has been the worst in the National Hockey League. That's not even an opinion. That is just concrete fact. Something has to change on that, especially if it's not going anywhere, because they have to be better. And, look, obviously that makes it tough for the goaltenders, but Korpisalo has to be better. The Senators do not get consistent goaltending yet again. I've been a big fan of Korpisalo all year. I usually defend him, not tonight. 6 for 24, 800 save percentage. You have to be better. 4 out of those 6 goals you probably want to save, maybe even 5. And it's just back and forth. Good start, bad start, good start, bad start, whoever the goaltender is. So the Senators just cannot get good, consistent goaltending, and it kills them again tonight. No doubt about it. Korpisalo made big stops, no doubt about it, but he also allowed some shots that, frankly, this shouldn't be going in. So just inconsistency is killing the Ottawa Senators in the crease, no doubt, and that continued again tonight, just like the terrible penalty kill. Now, the Senators had 19 giveaways tonight. 19 giveaways. If you're giving away the puck so much, the Devils only had like 9 or 10. If you're giving the puck 19 times away, no wonder the Devils, a talented team with a lot of talent, are going to take advantage. It just shows the clumsiness and the sloppiness by the Ottawa Senators all night. Every player. I mentioned Tarasenko. I mentioned Artem Zub. Mark Kaslik as well looked lazy tonight. I'd frankly bench him, to be honest with you. He has looked very lackluster and just floating the last 4, 5, 6, maybe even the entire season, to be honest with you. He needs a bit of a wake-up call. I love Kaslik. I think he's a great face-off man, but he can definitely play better than this, and maybe he needs a bit of a wake-up call, because tonight I was very disappointed with him, and of course other players as well, but I noticed him. He's on the 4th line. You got to be an energy guy. He's just floating out there. Just can't have it. So a lot of floating, a lot of giveaways, a lot of lackluster play, really no passion. No one wanted it tonight, and it showed as the Devils took advantage of the Ottawa Senators in literally every aspect. Now, the Ottawa Senators should have taken advantage of the fact that they were playing against Nico Daws, who, has played some NHL games, but like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, has not played an NHL game in nearly 2 years. When you're in a situation like Ottawa where you're multiple games below 500, you're basically out of the playoff race before it even begun, before the new year even started. You want to win these games. And when you're going against a guy like Dawes, you got to capitalize on these chances. We had a couple of breakaways. You have to score more than 2 goals against a fringe NHL goaltender making his first start in nearly 2 years. They have to be better, no doubt about it. They know it. The offense has to be far better. Now, besides that, I'll leave it at that. Got nothing else to say. Oh, I'm just checking the screen. So it did drop. Let me know when it dropped down below. Pretty funny, I guess. But so the next SENS game is on Sunday, New Year's Eve, the 31st, against the Buffalo Sabres at 6 o'clock. Probably won't have a video for you guys there on Sunday night. I will be up at the cottage with some buddies. There's a chance there's a quick minute or 2 video I upload, but it kind of depends on reception and what we're doing. But if I don't see you before the New Year, Happy New Year. Have a safe and fun celebration on New Year's Eve and, of course, New Year's Day. And I'll see you all very, very soon. But yeah, another tough loss, and hopefully Ottawa can bounce back on Sunday against the Buffalo Sabres, a team that is kind of in a similar boat. They're not doing so well either this year. So let's see what they can do on Sunday. I'll see you all soon. Go Sens, go.
That could be the dagger against Ottawa.